everybody. Thank you so much for the great introduction. And thanks a lot to Web Expo and of course, Frontendistic for opportunity to be here. And we already seen such amazing talks and speeches. And right now, me and Břeťa, we would like to tell you something about React 18 and something about new features in React 18. But first, let me tell you and introduce to you what are exactly we are going to talk about. The first topic will be concurrency. Then Břeťa will tell us about automatic batching. After that, I will tell you a little bit about transitions. And of course, we will introduce you new React hooks in React 18, such as use ID, use transition, use differ value, use sync external store, and use insertion effect. And after that, we will dive deep in suspense on server. And in the end, we will, Břeťa will show you how to upgrade to React 18 with TypeScript. But firstly, let me ask you, is there anybody who already upgraded to React 18 and who already tried new features in React 18? Can you raise your hand? Amazing, amazing. There is something like 7 people here. So for the rest of you, we will tell you something more about that so you can upgrade it as well. All right, so first topic is concurrency. Some of you may know that React always focusing on concurrency, and it continue to do so. What exactly concurrency is? It means that React can interrupt an ongoing process to do something else what is, let's say, more important. But it can go back to what it did before, after that. And basically, you focus on what you want your app to feel like, and React ensure how to deliver that experience. But what is different from React before from React 18 is that before React uses concurrency mode, and right now it uses concurrency features. And we are going to talk about these concurrency features in the next slides. And here I would like to explain you more what exactly concurrency means. So let's say I will have a call with Břeťa, and after that somebody else will call me. And it doesn't mean that I have to hang up with Břeťa. I can continue to call with him, but after that I finish a second call. Yeah, we can continue with this. So this is what exactly concurrency means. And next topic is automatic batching.
Perfect. So once again, thank you for the great opportunity to be on the stage on the Web Expo. And it's also a great opportunity to you to listen to my Eastern pronunciation. So let's start with the automatic batching. What's batching actually? Batching is a technique, performance technique in React, where React groups multiple state updates into one render. So it will prevent multiple unnecessary re-renders. This might remind you the situation when waitress in the restaurant doesn't run off immediately to the kitchen menu order the appetizer, but will wait for the complete order. Now I sound smart, right? But I stole it from Dan Abramov's post on the GitHub, so yeah, it's his idea. Anyways, this was already implemented in earlier versions of React, but it worked only for React event handlers. Now, with automatic batching, everything will be batched, like promises, intervals, timeouts, everything. So it should work automatically, without any changes, and it should increase the performance of applications. On the next slide, we can check how it works. On the first example is simple handler-click handler. Nothing got changed for this, right? This worked before, as I said, and it will behave exactly the same for React 18. The second case is more interesting. There is a set timeout. So for the 17 and earlier version, this will cause multiple renders, exactly 2, right? Because there is 2 set updates in timeout. Now with React 18, it will be batched, and it will be rendered only once. That's perfect, and it works automatically. But there might be a case that you want to opt out from this feature. Yeah, in that case, you can use the new flash sync method. You can import it from React reference, and you just need to wrap the set count and set flag into the flash sync method. In this case, it will behave exactly the same like the React 17 or earlier versions. So that was all for automatic batching.
All right.
Now it's your turn.
Thanks.
Go for it.
Okay, so next topic is transitions, and like I said before, transition is one of these concurrent features, and basically you use transitions for March what is urgent and what is not urgent in context of updating. Let me explain it here in this example. So you can see that there is a type of head field where you can search something, or user can search something, and this is the one thing what's happening here. But second thing is that there is a function who already searched for some data. And what transitions do is that you just mark one function as not urgent. So let's say this visual feedback to your user is more important for you, so you don't mark it as transitions. But then the second thing, the searching for data is less important, so you mark it as a transition. And for marketed, you use new hooks. One of them is use transition. The second one is start transitions, right? And I think that Břeťa is going to talk about hooks a little bit more deep, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so your turn.
Okay then, right now, okay, wow, I'm surprised. Hooks, right? Everyone loves them. But unfortunately, for the earliest version, there were not that much updates to hooks. Things got changed. So now we have a new hooks. So let's start with the use transition. Perfect. It's here. So as it was said, use transition with start transition is used for marking the part of the code in React with a lower priority to render. So in the code example, you can see how is it used. On the second line, we are just calling the use transition hook. It will return you a tuple where the first value is pending state. It's just status when the transition is in the pending state, right? It's what is said. But the set transition, that's the more important thing. With this method, you can mark the part of the code where we are updating the state, and you want to tell to React that it's not necessary to render it all the time. Here we are using the button, where is the handle click handler, so we can see how we are marking the set count in the start transition. So for this case, once you will be clicking on the handle click on the button, the rest of the application can easily and faster render, and this won't happen for the app itself because it will be marked as lower priority. And if we go to the next slide, we can see how is it done with use defer value. It do the same thing, but just imagine the case that you don't have access to how the data are stored in your application. So, for example, it might be that you are using some third-party library which will return you the products we want to show in the product list in this case. We are using the use defer value, and we mark products as a lower priority to UI updates. So the product lists will be rendered not that often as you would expect with this, and it will be more performant. Next slide, please. Use ID. This is mainly for server-side rendering. It prevents mismatches during the hydration phase. So the generated ID should be safe for the server-side, server-client-side communication. You can see how is it done. We are using it for the input ID and HTML for on the label. There are two things really we need to mention. One is don't use it for key. There was a nice article on Medium from Robin Pokorny. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it, how keys works. And the second thing is that the ID contains a colon. So it's not a valid CSS selector. So you won't be able to select the input, in this case, with the ID. Just keep it in mind and use the class name. Perfect. Thank you. Last but not least, library hooks. I don't want to dig deep into it that much because it's mainly for library users, library authors. The first one is using external store. It's actually for store library authors. So it will enable for them synchronous way how to read the concurrency data. So this is for them. And this use insertion effect is for CSS in JS libraries authors. It behaves almost like a use effect, but it will be run before all DOM mutations are executed. So it will be more performant for them. So it should increase the performance again. This brings us to you, right?
Okay, yeah, that's my topic, right? All right, suspense on server, little storytelling. Well, while I was here yesterday in the Web Expo and when I was talking with somebody who already upgraded to React 18, like everybody was super excited about suspense on server. And the reason is that it really improves our application performance. So what exactly it is? Before suspense on server, that could be like one component could be a bottleneck for your whole page to be rendered. But right now, as you can see in the code, you can just wrap these slow component, here is it called other component, to suspense. And as a fallback, you can use spinner. And it will look like that. Your page will be rendered, except of the slow component. You can see the spinner here. And everything will work. Actually, the page will be hydrated as well. So your user don't need to wait for the slow component, and it will work just fine. And after that, the slow component will be rendered as well. Your page will be all ready to use. Amazing, right?
Perfect.
Okay, so the last topic, and it's your topic.
Wow.
Is amazing upgrading. Are you ready to have some fun?
Definitely, definitely. So what we can say that React 18 brings us like improvements in performance, server-side rendering, and some concurrency, right? If you want to use it, the first thing once you upgrade or bump your dependency to React 18 and React DOM to 18 will be that the React render DOM is not longer available. So what you will need to import new create root method from React DOM. This is the new way how React behaves roots, how React handles roots, and it's enabling the concurrency features. It's almost the same. You just need to pass the container to the create root, and then you can call the render method on it. There is one difference that there is no longer the second argument for the render method. It was called, like once was the whole tree rendered, but you can achieve it easily with the use layout effect in the app component for this case. It will behave exactly the same. Okay, easy peasy, you can migrate like this. What about TypeScript? Yeah, one significant change is here that implicit gender in functional component or all component types got removed. It was a great opportunity to React types owners or library owners to get rid of this. They wanted to do it for a longer time. And it happened. So what you will do, you have two options. You can manually to go through the code and change it, right? You will like, put the children, type to it, and it will be a lot of fun, I would say, especially for a big code base. But there's a way how to achieve it pretty easily. There's a code mode. Link will be in the source section, so you can use it. On the next slide, we can check what I did actually on one of our Pipedrive micro frontend. On one of our Pipedrive micro frontend Oh, we can.
Sorry. My bad.
Yeah, it's not actually, it's not that important. I just wanted to have some video, so I have some interactivity behind me, so it's not that very important. You don't have to watch it actually. But what it does is that it will run the code mode, and I picked it. I wanna fix it. It will do the static analysis of the whole code base, and it will append. For example, for the children case, it will append additional type to the functional component types. As you can see on the right side, there is around 200 files, or 60, or I don't know. It's very small micro frontend. So by this, you can fix automatically those changes.
Amazing. So that was it, I guess?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so thank you so much for your attention. And if you would like to talk with us, we will have a Q&A discussion in an hour. Yep. On the upper stage. And of course, you can write us anytime you would like to our emails. Thank you so much.
Thank you.